Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna do a video about the screws of the different Picatinny rails that you put on your AR. Make sure that they do not make contact with your barrel. Okay, so this is my friend's Sig M400. I did a separate video on this. Really nice AR. And one of the issues that came up is that the sling that he had on it was too short. So he shipped in a new sling, which today I was attaching. While I was doing that, I noticed that one of the screws from this Picatinny rail here, basically was really long, and it was making contact with the barrel. So on these free-floated rails, the way they're designed is that the rail basically connects directly onto the barrel nut, and it doesn't touch the barrel. Okay, and the idea here is that when the gun fires, the barrel is allowed to flex naturally. Okay, so there's nothing touching it, interfering with the natural flex and harmonics of the barrel. So when you attach a piece of Picatinny rail and you have a screw that's long and basically goes up and touches on the barrel, you're now defeating the purpose of the free floated rail. Okay, so and it's a really simple fix, right? Because it's probably the tendency is for these Picatinny rails to come with screws, right, that are a little extra long, because you can always grind them down a little bit. So the way you're going to do that, I got another section of Picatinny rail here, is right. You take the back plate and you basically just tighten it down all the way, okay, and then you basically just lock this into a vise. If you don't have a vise, you could probably get away with putting this in some vise clamps. But I put this into a small vise, holding it like this, and then I took the angle grinder, and basically, as the thing was spinning, I just brought it down and basically just grinded it down a little bit. Okay, and this tends to be very soft metal, so it's going to grind away very quickly. I mean, with the angle grinder, which has a lot of torque, it took something like 15 seconds. You can do it with a Dremel, right? With the Dremel, it'll probably take you a little bit longer because it's got, it's a smaller wheel. But yeah, just Dremel this down a little bit, okay? So that your screws don't touch your barrel. Easy stuff, big deal, okay? Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's soft metal, no problems there. So I thought it was worth doing a video on it because I've actually seen this a bunch of times. I saw this just 2 weeks ago on another friend's rifle. Okay, so it's actually something I see very often when people attach the different Picatinny rails, right? Whether it's be for lights or for angled grips or for the sling mounts. I'll see it all over the place, right? And it's usually not all of them. It's usually just one somewhere, because the barrel isn't the same. Usually the different sections of the barrel are a little bit thicker. Like this one over here, I can see it's thicker behind the gas block, and then it gets thinner after that, and then the gas block itself is going to be a little bit thicker. So different parts of the rifle barrel, right, are going to be different thicknesses. Okay, so with this one over here, the front one, the Picatinny screw in the front was not touching. Okay, but the one in the back was, and that's because the barrel was a little bit thicker further back over here. So yeah, that's something to pay attention to. Make sure that your Picatinny screws do not touch your barrel, okay? Because if it does, you're defeating the point of a free-floated rail. And don't be shy about about grinding these things down, okay? These things are fairly cheap, and usually, I mean, if you're into guns, you're gonna end up getting lots of these, right? So you're gonna end up with lots of extra screws, okay? If you're buying your Picatinny rails from the same place, that's good, because you'll have extra screws like that. And there's actually been a couple of times where I wanted to mount a section of Picatinny over here, just as an anchoring point, and because it was exactly in the spot where the gas block was, right, I was only able to mount one screw in the front, not the screw in the back. And you know what? I put some Loctite, and that one screw holds it fine. Okay, so Don't get crazy with this stuff. This stuff is like you know, it's cheap. Okay, so you know, if you only end up putting one screw, that's fine. It'll work. I mean, you're probably not going to war with it. And even if you are, and the you know, if the angle grip falls off, I mean, it's not the end of the world. The rifle will still work. Okay. So anyway, some stuff for you guys to think about. Yeah, just make sure your Picatinny screws don't touch your barrel. Okay, and it's easy to grind them down. So there's no reason not to grind them down. So drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all soon. Hey, I want to add one more thing. What is enough clearance? Okay, so once you install your Picatinny rail and you got that screw in there, right? Look at the screw, right? You're gonna put your finger on the barrel and just apply a little bit of pressure, right, in the direction of that screw, right, whether it's up, down, left, right, and make sure that your barrel doesn't touch the screw. And it's that simple. And you don't need a lot of pressure. You're just doing it with, you know, just with your finger like that, so that when that barrel flexes, you know, you're sure that it's not going to touch it. Simple stuff.